Hello, thanks for joining us for this first all-new edition of Local Image for 2016. We had some bitterly cold temps last month, but that didn't stop many of us from getting out and having some fun at the White Bear Center for the Arts' first ever winter open house event. From ice carvings and sled dogs in the snow to taking a spin at the pottery wheel and crafting mini art shanties, it was a perfect day for some winter play.
Today we're celebrating winter and ice and cold and also heat. So outside you'll see Rusty. He goes by Rusty the Clown, but he's also an artist and he works with large blocks of ice.
I was at the Minneapolis Club for 32 and a half years as a ice carver and cook. I was at the vocational cooking school in Brooklyn Park in 1974, and I took a year class there. And then I went right to the Minneapolis Club and they handed me the tools and said, "You're the ice carver." Right now, I'm scribing the ice, the design of the ice carving onto the block. You have to be able to see the figure in the ice before you carve it. So you got to have an idea of what you're doing and what and how to see it. I'm a Metro Transit bus driver, and these folks here, they ride my bus. They live in Stillwater, so they came out to visit me. And it's a great community event. It's like Market Fest. Everybody likes to come out and have a great time, and you can come to the White Bear Arts Center, and they got all kinds of crafts you can do. They got clay. They got a great clay carving outfit, and it's just a great community event. It's been real nice for the whole community.
One other event outdoors are the dog sleds.
I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I have been here for quite some time. Well, I like the community, I like the lakes, and I love the art center. I take classes here and I go to quite a few of the events. These are Samoyeds, and they're from northern Siberia in Russia. And this is Mika with the purple harness, and she's only 1 year old, so she just wants to play. And the other one is Ariel, and she's 5 years old. Well, I kind of got into it because of the dogs that we have. And so, you know, maybe in the mid-90s, we got two new Samoyeds, and then I belonged to the Samoyed Club, and they did a lot of sledding at that time. And then I joined them, and then we just shared sleds and dogs, and that's how I kind of got into it. And after you do it a few times, you get hooked. So I got my own sled, and then we have a place up north, and I have another sled there. I think it's great fun. I think it's good for people to see dogs and for kids, you know, to come and see the dogs, and they like to sled with them. So I think it gives them a whole different perspective than just having a dog at home, you know, just that you can do things with your dogs. Skype.
The dog sleds are going to be in the Sparkle Parade on ice on February 6th, which is the opening day of the art shanties here. So this day is really about getting the community aware of the art shanties coming, getting ourselves prepared for opening day at the art shanties. So one of the other activities along with the dog sleds is to prepare your own sleds for the Sparkle Parade.
This is the Primp Your Sled workshop. So primp your sled, so it means you're supposed to come in with a sled and then decorate the heck out of it. The art shanties are going to be taking place all the weekends in February out here on the lake. And so the sleds, you bring them along to the shanties, you can ride one around. And the whole point is to be colorful outside in the winter and get people out, which I think Minnesotans are mostly really good about that.
Make a three-headed dragon. So I have some more sleds and stuff, and I have a really cool one.
Planning, because this is an incredible pile of talent in this room. People who love to build things and build things well, and you get them started, and everybody's got their own ideas. So sometimes the best thing is just to say, well, I think I want to make a spaceship. And then you see what happens. So suddenly you got a spaceship. So this was the three-headed dragon idea. So it's turning into a three-headed dragon before your very eyes. The winter, you spend so much time inside looking out. It's just so nice to get out.
So kids and families would be able to make their own little mini art shanties.
Art projects.
In honor of the art shanties that they're making out on the lake, we are making our own mini art shanties here today.
Just use your creativity to make it.
Well, you start out with a sheet of ice. Then after that, the possibilities are endless. The key is basically that people have to come with their own ideas. I mean, I have all the junk, but I never would have thought of creating all of this. This takes the imagination. There's cardboard, there's all kinds of other junk. Feathers, string, cotton balls, stuffing, everything you could need.
Working on a pig.
Mine's a ninja pig.
Yeah, ninja
It kind of
pigs.
looks a little creepy right now, but it's getting there.
It's just a lot of fun. How's it going over here?
And then we'll have hands-on clay playing and experimenting with clay in the clay studio.
It's not. Do you have a new ball of clay, Jennifer? Okay, let me get you a tissue. It's just so awesome. The feel of the clay in your hands and then being able to control it. But everything starts with the centering of the clay, opening it up, and then moving it, defining the thumbprint, the base of it. And then you have a choice to make. You can pull it up into a cylinder, widen it out to a bowl, or keep it very flat and move it out to a plate.
Just a second, because I'm doing the same
We're
thing.
going to push from the inside out, but we're going to keep the shape of the outside, and then as we push, the clay moves up. They love it. They love it.
The community is really embracing the activities of the Art Center. We're just seeing a real magical transformation of community being built both on site and extending into beyond the building.
Next month, Prelude Memory Care Cottages will be opening a new location in White Bear Lake. With the increase in senior housing we've been seeing in our communities in recent years, we wanted to take a closer look at what Prelude has to offer. To find out, we visited with a family living at the Woodbury location for this local image segment.
Here, this is better. Should we look at this?
Oh.
Does that look familiar?
Boy, isn't that beautiful?
Those are the vineyards. Those were all behind your ranch in California.
Oh, and this is just beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? We used to go for rides in the car.
Look at that.
Those were sunsets I remember. Remember we'd sit out on the patio?
Yeah. Beautiful.
And the Maverick.
Oh, yes.
That was always
Maverick.
fun to go to.
I'd forgotten about that.
My mom had brought to our attention that she just didn't seem to be tracking as well when she was living in California, and you're so far away. And I wanted to be able to be there with her, but I had a family and I have my own responsibilities here. And so we would fly out. Each one of us took turns flying out once a month to be with her. And to be able to have this time with her now back here, dementia and memory care is such a, not a definite thing. It doesn't run a typical path. I don't know tomorrow if I'll come, if she'll remember who I am. And so the time that I spend with her is very important. We
love family involvement. Who knows their loved one best, better than them? And so when the transition actually does take place, it takes time. We tell families maybe up to 6 weeks or so for them to settle in and feel comfortable. And of course they feel more comfortable more quickly if the care staff are compassionate and really care about them as an individual person, not just caring for their needs, their physical needs, but emotional needs too.
Chocolats. Oh, there's that movie about the...
My mom is a nurse, and I'm a nurse as well. And I worked in long-term care, and I actually worked on a locked Alzheimer's unit for about 8 years. So I know the things to look for and the questions to ask, and I'm amazed at the staff here. They have such caring, compassionate, and so good with the residents, and that's hard to find. And we loved the component, the spiritual component that was here.
The spiritual care at Prelude is quite different than other places. We have a full-time chaplain for just 30 residents, so there's Bible studies and chapel and one-on-one prayer, and
well, welcome everybody.
And of course, end-of-life care is very important.
Can I do that? Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you. We thank you for your presence in our life.
Usually around 11 o'clock they have a Bible study, and there's 3 cottages here, and each cottage has 12 residents in each cottage. So sometimes the Bible study will be in the north cottage, and sometimes it'll be in the south cottage. And so there's a little walkway that goes in between the cottages, and it's all connected so they can just travel back and forth. And sometimes I'll come in and there'll be residents from the south cottage that are just kind of hanging out over on the north side, and or they'll be doing a craft project.
Think of a home setting, you know, at their residential home where they lived maybe for many years. Their routine from day to day, we want to try to stay within that so they're comfortable, but yet add in some things that would be meaningful to them, thinking about their life legacy, their hobbies, their occupation. What things could we add in that would be meaningful and purposeful for them, which would include our Acts of Kindness program, where they're serving the community by different service projects, and also serving each other. It's really neat to see, depending on the stage they're at, the journey, in dementia. Some who are earlier stages, they're able to serve others within the cottage here too.
Treat others like you would want to be treated. Judge others like you would want to be judged. Love your neighbors as yourself. Yeah, as yourself. That's the essence of what Jesus' ministry was about.
And then sometimes it's just daily tasks too, sweeping, wiping the table, helping with dishes, folding laundry, just the things that need to be done. So they feel a sense of belonging and purpose.
A lot of the other families here at Prelude, we become pretty close with one another because we can come and eat together. There have been times I've been able to come and take a nap with my mom and just lay down and that's a gift that this place can give, that we're so thankful for.
We all have a real heart to serve seniors and their families, and we truly love them and want to care for them, and we care about them as an individual person. And the residents, they know it. They can feel that. And so that makes it so special that we are truly serving in Christ's name, and really enhancing their quality of life each day. And if they're here till end of life, we love that we can be with the family through the entire journey.
What does that mean for us so that it will go well with us?
That will help us.
It'll help us, right?
So be grateful for what you have. Often people take it for, and not really understand how important that is to them. So I think it's a good thing to be aware of how people are helping you. And I've had great help because I've got people like this in my life. They're all great.
I think that's great advice, Mom.
Right.
For more information about the new White Bear Lake Prelude homes and services, please visit preludecares.com or call 651-501-6513. Now, back here in our studio, I'm pleased to have returning guest Bukola Oriola. Bukola was on our show a few years ago to talk about her book, Imprisoned, The Travails of a Trafficked Victim. We welcome her back to share some updates on her life and her new role in the ongoing fight fight to stop human trafficking. Welcome back.
Thank
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
Man, a lot of things have happened, and it's been almost 6 years, I think, since you were here, since your book came out.
Yes.
Let's start with reminding people about your story. And it starts with you being a journalism student from Nigeria and coming here to America, and how that happened and what happened to you when you came to America.
Okay, in summary, when I came to the US, I was a practicing journalist, and I became a victim of human trafficking and domestic abuse in Minnesota, and my trafficker was my husband. But I didn't know I was a victim of human trafficking until I got help and was educated that that was trafficking. And because what happened to me was something that I didn't believe could happen to somebody like me, I decided to put my face to my story in order to help others escape that kind of torture. And I started coming out to speak. I wrote a book. And that was when I came here. And then since then, I didn't stop, because I see it more now like an assignment from God to help others. Now I say my ministry is the ministry of helping, because I don't want to see a child suffer. What my son went through, I don't want to see another child, a baby that is still breastfeeding, go through that. Then, worst of all, working and you know money is coming in, but you don't have access to the money. Or you collect the money and then somebody takes that money from you. You can't buy warm clothes in a place like Minnesota, no warm shoes in a place like Minnesota, and you're just walking away.
That was some of what you experienced in the 2 years from your husband, who basically kept you imprisoned in your home with your son, and you could go out to work, but the money that you brought in went right to him. You never saw any benefit from it, and just a lot of physical, mental, emotional abuse that you went through, and thankfully went through that and came out on the other side, and now are doing some great things for other people who are experiencing same types of situations.
Yes.
The exciting news lately is in December, President Barack Obama appointed you to the, I just want to get it right, United States Advisory Council on Human Trafficking. Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
Yes.
What a whirlwind it must have been for you to get that appointment. Tell us about it.
The appointment to me is both humbling, and at the same time I feel so honored to have the biggest platform ever to lend my voice, because there are so many people out there that need help, that don't even know that help is available. You know, there are so many services, but even in the services available, there are still gaps in the system that needs to be filled. Because one thing is, every case is unique, and every person is an individual with individual needs. So for example, even though we are both women, some of my needs as a woman will be different from some of yours as a woman. So all those kind of unique differences, it's important to identify them to really provide the help.
Right.
In my case, for example, for 8 months, I was at the shelter, Bata Women's Shelter, with a son that was breastfeeding. And I couldn't really eat the food that was provided because I wasn't familiar with the food. So that is one, you know, even though in the array of services I was getting there, that was one gap in that service. So how can we help like such a place fill that gap? You know, lending my voice at this platform, we help that kind of a provider to make their services to be more culturally sensitive, such that someone who they're taking care of can really heal, because it's a very traumatic experience, and we do know that food helps with comfort. So you cannot imagine someone who is going through trauma not being able to have access to dry food. Or even with the case of the legal system, where cases get dragged, or where the court is looking for the mark here, but they can't access the mark here, or even when only one person, for example, in Minnesota is available to sign the document on visa, you know, those kind of things. How can we start improving on those services in order to really better the lives of people? And beyond that, so we need to do a lot of work on prevention. You know, prevention costs less, and prevention affects less people, in the sense that, you know, it will be reducing the number of people that will be affected by this crime. Because when people know more about it, it will help them.
Bukola, do you feel in this relatively short amount of time, the 6 years you've been kind of letting your voice to all this, have you seen some good improvements, some changes in human trafficking? I know there's a lot of attention on it now in Minnesota.
There's been a lot of attention on it. The only place where I can say that they are doing it in the right way is the Office for Victims of Crime. So if anybody wants to learn about human trafficking, you know, before you look at any other document out there, first of all, go to the Office for Victims of Crime's website. They just rolled out what they call Faces of Human Trafficking, and I was featured in that video training series with other survivors, for people to see real survivors and real stories that is different from the sensationalized stories that we see on TV. And then another thing is that it's called human trafficking, but most of the time people say human sex trafficking.
Right.
You know, it's not human sex trafficking, it's human trafficking, but one form of human trafficking is sex trafficking. Another form of human trafficking is labor trafficking. And another form of human trafficking is organ trafficking. So people need to know the language to use and where to get the right information, especially because if we are not getting the right information, we will not be helping the people that we're supposed to help, or we will still be leaving many behind. So right now, if you look at what is out there in terms of human trafficking, it's more of sex trafficking education that is out there.
Bukola, you have come such a long way. I can tell since our last meeting what a spokesperson you are. What a great appointment this is for you. If somebody out there watching this feels either they are a victim or someone they know, what advice would you give them?
First of all, there is help, so call me. You know, now one of the things I did was 2.5 years ago, right, or 3 years ago, in 2013, I started a non-profit organization called the Anyton Story, and it's here in Minnesota. So somebody can call. The number is 763-433-9454, or check me out online. You know, I'm
you're out there.
You know, I'm out there. I can't hide. Right now, as I speak to you, I have 3 cases I'm working on right now. We did between Monday and today, because somebody cried out on Facebook, and somebody said, "Hey, Bukola is there, Bukola." And you know, I'm glad that they called me. And guess what? Within the same group, 2 other women
helping.
Because I put my number there, came and said, "Hey, Bukola, I need help." So, you know, that is the goal, for people to even be able to identify themselves as victims and be able to reach out for help. And I've had somebody contacted me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I've watched all your videos, I've read all about you," and was quoting me. And said, "Please, I need help. You know, all these things you are saying, this is what I'm going through. I need help." So, and that's the goal, for them to be able, you know, it's easy as a service provider for you to just have a victim walking or call you like, "Oh, I need help," than trying to go find, okay, where are victims? It's not written on the forehead. And you can be seeing somebody smiling every day, not knowing what that person is going through. But when we tell them help is available, it gives them the strength, you know, to reach out for help. And I want to say, I'm not blaming you. You know, I don't care how it happened to you. It's not your fault, first of all, but help is available.
Well,
Just come and get the help.
Look at where you've come from. I mean, you've reached out for the help that you needed, and it's brought you to where you are today, and now you're turning around and serving others through your own story, and now the work that you'll be doing on this new appointment. So congratulations on all of what you're doing, and keep up the great work, and I hope we can see you again soon and help in whatever ways we can to help spread that information.
Yes,
so
thanks. The media has strong power to spread the information.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for all the support. So
you know that your journalism background is really paying off nowadays.
It is. I guess that's why I had to go to journalism.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Bukola. It's always a pleasure to see you, and best wishes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, we close out today's show with another book-related segment. Wildwood Library has a unique program aimed to help school-aged children practice their reading skills. Photojournalist Jeffrey Wilson brings us this tale.
This book is called Today I Will Fly. Today I will fly. No. You will not fly today.
One of our librarians up at Forest Lake, Nancy Smith, started the program in August of 2008.
Nestled in the meeting room of Wildwood Library.
It's fun.
I like that I get to read to them because it helps me with reading. You will never fly.
First grader Mikan is practicing her reading with Phoebe.
This is Phoebe. She's 8 years old. She's a golden retriever.
They are participating in Doggone Reading, a program developed to help school-aged children practice their reading.
I am sorry, Gerald, but we must wait.
The dogs don't judge. If they miss a word or they don't know a word, the dogs just sit and listen.
Fostering a love for reading.
Whenever a dog comes in, I pick out one of these books.
Here at Wildwood, we do it weekly because we have the interest in it with our community.
By helping in a comfortable environment.
She will not fly. Fly, 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 fly.
It's a positive thing for them because they can read to a dog and there's no judgment. The dog's not going to correct them, which may be hard for a mom or a dad or a teacher not to correct them, and so it gives them confidence.
And building a sense of neighborhood.
I like the idea of the library not just being a place for books anymore. The library is reaching out to the community, and the community is reaching out and helping with the library.
All with the love of dogs.
And I like that I get to see dogs. My dad doesn't want a dog, but me and my mom say, we want a dog, we want to get one now. The sunrise. I can't wait.
Well, that's a good book.
Thank you.
And with that, we close the book on this February edition of Local Image. We hope you can get out to visit the Art Shanties projects on White Bear Lake each weekend this month, and then join us in March for our coverage of this very cool event. Until then, happy Valentine's Day. I'm Judy Sky Voss, and I do thank you for watching Local Image.